Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. So you joined me at Heathrow Airport. I'm at the Crowne Plaza. I'm here for 2 more nights and it's a lovely room, as you can tell, and I thought, why not make some videos here? So I made one yesterday and that was about some of the experiences and some of the health problems I've been having. I thought today we'll do a little gear video. We won't go for too long because there's no real need to go for too long, but I want to talk to you about what editing software I use to make my videos, to stitch it all together, to make something and layer all the music and the photos and everything together to make my stories. And I also want to go over just slightly some of the gear that I use. So the camera we're recording this on is the Fujifilm X-T4 with the 16 to 55mm lens, the 2.8, the first generation, and then the microphone we're using is the Rode mic. I think it's the Micro. It plugs into the headphone jack, the microphone jack on the actual camera. So nice and simple and easy to use, though it does have its limitations and you have to use the internal sound recorder on the actual camera. So typically I would like to use external microphones like these by DJI. These are the first generation mics and I find these work an absolute treat. So all I do is take this off, clip it onto my shirt here, or sometimes because it's got a little magnet right there, I just take that off. I'll just do that now. So just take that off. It's a little strong, and then just clip that onto the shirt here. And if I want to hide the mic, I just cover it under my shirt there, and there we go. And then it will just filter through. Whoop. And try not to drop the case while I'm at it. But yeah, that works well. Or I can have it the other way around as well. And then I typically have like a little windshield on there. Let's see if it shows. Yeah, a little windshield on there as well. They've got a little sound recorder in them as well, so it has some memory in there. But what I have done is I have actually scratched this so I can actually tell the difference. I've done that more so early on when I got these. I typically don't really use it. Now I thought that I would, but it's nice to have a bit of a distinguished pattern. So if I were to record this off camera and I thought I'm getting out of range, then I can record to that little guy right there. And the mics typically last a long time. And to charge it, I just put it into a little dock there and it will show you it's got 15 hours of battery life. So pretty handy. And a little charging case, though I wish it had the ability to put the cable in here and also little dead cats. But no, I've had this for what, 2 or 3 years now, and no problems with it. Good range. I've had, I think, up to 50 meters away, and it still works. So yeah, works a treat. We'll pretend that this is my main camera, so the X-T4. But I've also done some videos with this as well on the X-T3. So the reason why I'm going over the gear is the importance of getting your sound and picture looking its best. So depending on what editing software you're using, you can get away with having something a bit more basic, but so long as you focus on the audio and the picture, then you can get away with other areas, and that's my philosophy anyway. As for the Rode mic, typically when I'm out in the field I would have a little dead cat on, so I've currently got it off because this actually does dampen the sound quite a bit and it's harder for the mic to pick up things, and we're only talking quietly as well, so yeah, and we don't really need it for indoors, and we're shooting onto a curtain, so it should be absorbing a lot of the sound. Though there is an air conditioner behind me and that is on and I can't turn it off, which is annoying. I think it's a fault with the unit. But yeah, these are an absolute lifesaver. So if you're on location, you've got that horrible wind buffeting around, you need one of these, and you also need to turn off the low cutoff on the microphone or on the actual camera recording device, so you don't get those sort of frequencies and you don't get that horrible clipping of the audio which you hear on some videos. I've done it in some of mine, and you get that horrible noise. It just it doesn't sound right. So yeah, be careful to turn that off. One of my other things I use action cameras. I also like to use my Pocket 2 right here. Oh, is it Pocket 2? Yeah, Pocket 2. I've had this for what, 3 or 4 years now, and I've actually replaced the battery grip right here, and I've actually, you might be able to see that I've actually put some sort of bonding there, just because I'm never going to get rid of this, and it just keeps it nice and secure, and just little Peak Designs clamp there, so I can attach it to my tripod, and it's nice and easy to use, and it's just a nice little extension piece. And this has just got a little sensor in it, a little 1-inch display. Might be about an inch, yeah, about an inch. So yeah, it's really nice, and I actually really like the audio that comes with this. I find the newer mics, they tend to be a bit more crisp and refined. This one seems a bit more mellow and soft, but it's still got good clarity. And I always keep it with a little dead cat on there. And this has got a decent range. I think it's to be about 20 meters or so. When I first got it, and I was shooting at the Pinnacles in Western Australia, I found when I got about 30 meters away, then it was sort of drop in and out. It wasn't very good. But what you can do as well is just use the mic input there and use a wireless mic to improve your range and everything. But yeah, that's what I use. I've used this on quite a few of my videos, and I love the little guy, and I'm going to keep using it. There's no reason for me to get the Pocket 3. If the camera still works and I'm still happy with the image quality, and by the way, I shoot this in the Pro mode, and I shoot it in the more of the flat profile, because I like that for my work. I don't want something that's high contrast and full of saturation. So a lot of my videos, and like me shooting on the Fuji, I shoot in this mode. I can't remember what it is, ethereal or something. Let me see. Yeah, like the cinema mode, that one. So I typically use that for my videos. Hopefully that showed. So it's more soft colour and rich shadow tone, suitable for the film look, film movie looks thing. So I like that, and yeah, I don't like it, as I said, when it's just all rich on it. And how I like to take my photographs, where I get my audio from for all of my videos, is from YouTube Studio, which everything there is free. And why not make use of that instead of paying for these subscription services for this music? One day in the future I might do that, because it will give me more of a way of illustrating the story and bring the viewer along, using certain bits of music for certain things to help emphasize what you're trying to show, and just getting the mood across as well. If it's happy, if it's moody, if it's dark, if it's a bit more mysterious, being able to illustrate that. Now, onto the editing software. You'll probably think I'm using DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, and all of that. Nope, I'm using simple old iMovie on the Mac, and I only do the basic stuff. So the reason why I actually use iMovie is I'm rubbish at this stuff. I'm good when it comes to the technical stuff with the cameras and learning all of that, but when it comes to the computer-based work, it takes me a long time to learn these things. So that's why I use iMovie, and there's still times I may press a wrong button and it just sort of expands everything, and I sort of freak out. And that's why you'll probably see the text, and it just like does this, like, I think I use this lower gravity thing text-wise, and then the transitions are very simple. And I do find there are some YouTube channels out there which I think pretty much use iMovie, and they've still got a huge subscriber count. It's all about how you present, and your audio and your camera quality. You could be using the best software out there, but if your image quality is poor and your audio is poor, you're not focusing your time in the right areas, you're not focusing on the story and how you want to portray, and really thinking about using things, and also using B-roll, and as I said, music and focal lengths, apertures, lighting. I'm using 3 lights. I've got the lighting in the room. I've got this desk lamp right here, so you can see that's just a little bit of fill on a warm light. I kind of like that. I think it works quite nicely. And then I'm using a little small rig light right here, just as a side light. If I turn that off, you'll see a difference. Hang on, let me turn it off. Yeah, see? It makes me very sort of flat and not distinguished from the background. But as soon as I switch that little guy on, it gives me a nice bit of separation, a nice little bit of fill. Sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a shoulder light as well, but for the video today I don't have that. I could always put another light in, or use different gels. I mean, not different gels. This is an RGB light, so I can put it to any colour I want, and I can have like little effects, like if I want a bit of crackling on like a fire, I can have it on like a fire thing, or I can have it on like a different mood thing, or different, say I want like a flicker of a TV, and that can do it, and also party scenes as well. So it's got a good amount, but the battery in it doesn't last very long, so I typically hook it up to a battery pack. That's pretty much it really. So it's not all glamorous, I'm not using the best thing, and you might think, well, maybe I think otherwise about his videos, but and why is he sharing this? I just want to make you aware that, you know, I struggle with this stuff, but I'm persevering, I'm learning slowly. I have tried to use DaVinci Resolve, and I couldn't work it out. My brain doesn't work in that way. It takes me a very, very long time to learn, and iMovie, I'm still learning little things in there, and you know how basic iMovie is. Yeah, it's just one of those things, and all my music is there because it syncs in with iMusic. So when I download stuff from YouTube, it goes into iMusic, and then it automatically shows up in iMovie, and it's all there, and I can pick and choose and slide and change the audio levels as well, and also doing the fade in, fade out sort of thing. So yeah, it's not bad. And I also do audio overlays as well, so I would either use the camera's mic, and you know, having my main camera, and then I would have a B-roll camera which is capturing another angle. I've got my sliders as well, which really help giving another element to the scene, because it's not just about your first camera, it's not about your main camera, it's also about your B-roll, and capturing as much information as possible that you can use to actually illustrate what you're talking about. And I use also a external sound recorder. This is a Zoom H1N, and great little bit of kit. I typically use it with an external mic. So since we've got the mic on the camera right now, I can't show you, but typically I would plug it into the line in, which is right here, and I'm typically shooting at quite a high resolution. I don't know if I've got a battery in here at the moment. Let's see. Oh yeah, I do. So nice big bright display, the limiter on, and also for a low cutoff, so it's 80 Hertz. So anything low like that, like maybe an air conditioner back there, it wouldn't detect it. And I'm shooting at 96K, 24 bits. So yeah, and that records to a micro SD card in there, and then I just take the card out of the device, plug it into my laptop, import the audio over, and then I overlay the audio into the camera. So I make sure I've got so how I do the overlay is I have the camera's audio, and I do the clap to sync it, and then I find that point within both audios, and I line them up against one another, have them both up, and then I just listen, making sure that it lines up perfectly. And then when I'm happy with that, I reduce the noise of one of them, or detach the audio and delete that audio, and keep the audio from the external device. So yeah, that's how I do it. So yeah, nice and simple. That's all it really needs. Very important to have good lighting, good audio, good picture, good storyline, and good direction. And by the way, none of my videos are scripted. I just, whatever I think really comes into my head, and I think it's going to be useful, I say it, and I also try and present myself quite well. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. If you've also got any questions, be sure to pop it down in the comments section, and I'll do my very best to get back to you. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye for now, and take care.